Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse New Gods Orion. Orion is a son of Darkseid, but chose the side of good instead of evil. This is part of the newest wave of Target exclusive figures. That's where I got mine today. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moon parts, McFarlane Toys. Ages 12 plus. This is part of the Gold Label collection. A Gold Label figure is simply a retailer exclusive. Whether it be GameStop or Walmart, this Gold Label is a Target exclusive. DC Multiverse, Orion. Here he is in the package. We have his sort of flight device, collector's card, and display stand. One side of the package, Orion, part of the New Gods. Other side, Orion. At the bottom, there's his barcode, if that helps anybody. And at the back side, here he is posed up from the comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting both figures from the wave. They were kind enough to pull them out of the back for me, Wildcat and Orion. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, a collector's card, and his only actual accessory is the Astro Harness. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Orion. He is one of the New Gods. There are tons and tons of them, both good guys and bad guys. He is the son of Darkseid, which is perplexing to me because he damn sure looks like a human, and Darkseid looks like a giant rock, so I'm not sure how that ever happened. He's the half-brother of Kalibak and Graven, and I guess Grail as well. He was traded to the High Father as part of a peace deal between Apocalypse and New Genesis. Orion assisted the New Gods of New Genesis against his father, and he also became a member of the Justice League. I hope they continue to make a bunch of the New Gods, in particular Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, Granny Goddess, some of the figures that McFarlane hasn't released before, and in fact that some companies haven't released at all. He was created by Jack Kirby, and his abilities are he's immortal, super strength, speed, invulnerability and endurance, accelerated healing, master at combat, and the Astro Force channeled through his Astro Harness. So pretty powerful character. Let's take a closer look. So start with this helmet, and it looks a little bit weird. I don't think little side things are quite positioned the way they're supposed to. The actual face is not bad. You can only really see his mouth, nose, a little bit of chin, eyes going through there. He's got the red sort of dot in his forehead. Now the body is very bland and basic. This is done on the Page Puncher Superman or the Electric Superman body. And it's a decent body for a pretty bland, basic-looking character, which he really is. You can see those sleeves from the Page Puncher Superman. Double-jointed elbows, double-jointed knees. Like I said, it's a pretty blank canvas of a body. And the helmet, just a little bit weird. A little, I don't know, wings or whatever you want to call them, just look off compared to what I think they're supposed to be. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. The sculpt is good, I just think the accuracy of the helmet is a little bit off. Now check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typical McFarlane display stand we've seen countless times before. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of Orion using his Astro Harness. Orion from the New Gods. On the back side there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now for the Astro Harness. This is an alien artifact, and the origin is unknown even to the New Gods. Now the only thing I really knew about it is it allows him to fly. So it is capable of interstellar flight. It can go to speeds above 150,000 miles per hour when in space. It is self-repairing. It has Astro Force projection, energy manipulation, and magnetic control. It's also programmable. It can be used as sort of a tractor beam. It can make shields at energy attacks directed at Orion. So it has a lot of different functions. As you can see at the top, this thing is totally done in gold color, and it could probably benefit from a little bit of details painted differently. He's got a sort of harness that goes over his shoulders. This part is on his stomach. Then he's got little handles here, and the two areas for his feet to go inside. Here's McFarlane's version of the Astro Harness, next to Mattel's version on the right. And then here's Orion, wearing the Astro Harness. As you can see, it straps across his chest and stomach area. He's got his hands holding the handles on either side, and his feet fit into the stuff at the bottom. Fits on his body pretty nicely. It's flat on the bottom, so he can stand with it very nicely. I appreciate that. Now I want to check out the reuse on this figure. Now he's made with the body that debuted with the Page Puncher Superman, but has a little bit more in common with the Electric Superman. So let's take a closer look. Obviously, the heads are completely different. It looks like the torso is exactly the same. You can see that weird sort of sculpted area around the collar. Orion has that too. The arms look to be the same. They even have that same sculpted little sleeve part there. Hands are the same. The diaper looks to be the same. And the legs are the same. So these are 100% the same figure, except for the head and the paint job. And you know what? They look quite a bit different. And when you know what you're looking for, you can kind of see it. But I wouldn't guess everything was the same except for the head. And here's a look at all the figures that utilize this Page Puncher Superman body. 6 of which are Superman. 1 is Effigy. 1 is Wildcat. 1 is Orion. And then 2 are Firestorm. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, it's staying about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to around 18 centimeters. And if you go to the top little things, little wings or whatever they are, about 7.5, maybe 7.4 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, you can rotate side to side. You can look up and down, about that much, not bad. You can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up more than 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got the butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion, and more importantly, covering the giant gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint his torso. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. Legs completely does the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty much non-existent. Legs go forward. About that much. Back not at all. Double jointed knees. And the ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's a look at Orion, flying through the city skies, utilizing his astro harness. Now let's check them out. Next is some of their action figures, starting off with some of their Orion and New Gods figures. Here's McFarlane's version of Orion, next to Mattel's DC Universe Classics version. Now I complained about 2 things on the figure. Number 1, he looked kind of bland and basic, not a lot of detail, and that's pretty accurate to the source material. Figures are both pretty bland, all red, blue gloves and shorts, and the boots are done similarly. Now, I also complained about the helmet. I didn't think this was exactly the way it's supposed to look. I think it's supposed to be more so like this. I don't know. Maybe it's drawn differently with different comics. Maybe those little things rotate and move. It just looks a little bit different than what I'm accustomed to. Drop it in the comments below. Is this accurate to anything, or is this just an error? And here are both versions of Orion, utilizing their Astro Harness. I must say, I think Mattel's version of the Astro Harness looks a little better. It's really all because of the paint job. Here's Orion next to Darkseid. Darkseid is the leader of Apocalypse. Darkseid is also Orion's father, and I'm just so confused. Orion looks nothing like Darkseid. And unlike his father, Orion chose the side of good and opposes Darkseid and the legions of Apocalypse. Here's Orion next to all the different McFarlane DC Multiverse versions of Darkseid. They've made 6 so far. Here's Orion next to Calabac, which is another son of Darkseid, Orion's half-brother. And once again, who did Darkseid sleep with to have Calabac? Miss Piggy? I mean, what is going on here? Why do neither one of them look at all like Darkseid? And they look completely different from one another. Then, here's Orion next to a DC Direct Grail figure. Grail is Darkseid's daughter, I guess it would be Orion's half-sister. And look, Grail. You know what? She looks like she would be Darkseid's daughter. No problem there. Kind of confused about Orion and Calabac, and I'm sure there's an explanation. Maybe somebody can inform me why they look the way they do. And now, next to McFarlane, Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf is a member of the New Gods, and is loyal to Darkseid and Apocalypse. Next, with a Mattel version of Desaad, another one of Darkseid's minions. And finally, here he is next to a Mattel Parademon. Although I don't think a Parademon is exactly a new god, but there are armies of Parademons that work for Darkseid. Those are his minions. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of his wave. These are the two newest gold-labeled Target exclusive figures. We have Orion and Wildcat. Here's Orion, next to the two previous Target exclusive figures, Commander Steel and Sinestro. And here he is, next to the most recent wave of Page Punchers. The comic version of the Christopher Reeve Superman, a comic version of Shazam, and a comic version of the animated Red Hood. I'm on the hunt for one more platinum version of this Red Hood. If anyone out there can help me out, please drop me a line in the comments below. It is much appreciated. Then, with the King Kong vs. Batman 3-pack. And now, next to this recent Batman wave, both the regular and platinum chase variants of the Silver Age Batman and the Noel Batman, the Platinum Batman vs. Spawn Batman, and all three versions of the Neo-Gothic Batman Beyond Batman. Here's Orion next to the Justice League Task Force wave, both the regular and platinum chase variants of Aquaman, Wally West Flash, Batman, Superman, and Darkseid. This is the first time they've ever done a collector build of platinum figure. And here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive Batman that came with the Batglider, and the GameStop exclusive Frostbite Nightwing. Then, next to the Amazon exclusive Court of Owls 3-pack. And now, with the 8th wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Both the regular and platinum chase variants of Lightning Lad, Simon Baugh's Green Lantern, Geoforce, Mr. Terrific, Christopher Reeve Superman, and Grid. And finally, next to a couple of recent McFarlane Mega figures, the Planet Ron Red Swamp Thing, and the Zack Snyder Justice League Armored Darkseid. This is one that came with a throne. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which ones you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Orion, next to a Rose. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a cool Orion figure, but it just looks very bland and basic. And even its harness, it also looks pretty bland because it's all just done in one solid color. His accessory, I appreciate they came with a harness. If it didn't have that, this figure would be real basic. Sculpt and paint job, excellent. Paint job seems bland, but it is accurate to how he looks and dresses. Articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane figure. If I were to rate this guy, I want to give him like a 6 out of 10. I'm just not very impressed. He has some stupid things on his sleeves that shouldn't be there. Like I said, just not very impressive. Plus his helmet, I think they just screwed that up. It's like the little wing thing should be folded down. It just looks a little weird the way it is. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is accurate to some of his appearances, but nothing I'm familiar with. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say to the video, add it to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.